You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
Hey, you're listening to Adulting with Horses, the best place to be if you can't be at the barn. We are your co-hosts and equine authors, Heather Wallace and Natalie Keller-Reinert. As crazy horse girls, we don't take ourselves too seriously in the saddle or out. We celebrate the things that make us different. Join us as we talk about horses and pop culture and get a little weird in a fun way. Thank you for being a little weird with us. We're not allowed to take vacations anymore because, I didn't know where anything was.
Nothing. No, I literally couldn't find my mic, couldn't remember the last time I used my mic, couldn't remember where I put it the last time that I used it because, all of those things are interconnected. Literally, I had to move my desk in here. I've been standing at my desk. I had to move it down. Then it was crooked and I looked weird. Couldn't remember the toggles to plug things in on my laptop. I mean, very basic stuff that clearly I have no room in my brain for.
Yeah, well, and you have your son home for the summer too, which adds a little bit of complication. And I'm going to just turn this around and show you real quick for everybody on the Patreon to be able to see
we're going to see more,
just
a backstage.
A little bit. This is what my office looks like now because I'm hopefully moving soon, bitches.
Ooh, that's exciting.
So I'm packing up everything that's non-essential, but apparently, computer in one room, charger in the other, headphones somewhere in the ether,
Yeah, that'll be fun too. I can't wait for the first episode after you're in a new place.
Oh my God, it's going to be
like, what's the light? Can you even see me? Or is it so bright that it's washing out everything?
Watch out for this glow, guys. It's going to be big.
Glow up.
But it's funny. I went out to dinner with a friend last night and I said something about I attract chaos or I am the chaos.
You are a big chaos swirl.
But listen, this is how much I love my friends because she's delusional with me and she goes, baby, you're not the chaos. She's like, you just show people the chaos in their lives by existing. And I'm like, that's a really nice way of saying that. I highlight the chaos in your life. Thank you.
We turn to the gods of our pantheons to reveal things about ourselves, right? So we would turn to, the goddess Hestia for the home and whatever goddess of chaos there might be.
Loki.
We would go to illuminate that part of our life.
Clearly Heather is the new
and
goddess.
Heather, yeah, you are the personification in the 21st century.
Yeah, don't look here, guys. Everything's fine, but your life's crazy.
Do you find the forward momentum by slingshotting off of the chaos swirl? That's how you boomerang yourself. Not boomerang, that's backwards. Slingshot, yeah. Yourself forward. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Don't do boomerang. You will die. Yeah. You will return to the fire from whence you came.
I like to think of it as life is chaos. And as a Libra, sorry to get I'm not really into astrology. I just know,
I'm super into astrology.
Well, I'm not. I don't know much about it. But I will say that, I have always had a quest for balance in my life, and I've never once achieved it. So, I think that's my life's goal is to find balance. But things just keep bringing chaos. But in this case, good chaos, because I'm slowly packing up all the stuff, all these things in my life. I'm throwing out things that I haven't used. This is a literal rebirth, and I'm so flipping excited.
That is so cool. I need to go find you a really great rebirth candle so you can burn it in your new house. That's going to be my little witchy gift to you.
I love that.
Yeah, I like telling people ahead of time in case they're like, I have enough witchy candles.
Listen, you can never have enough candles. It's great. It gives good light. Okay.
I have a lot of great candles, and I don't light them because I'm well, I have a cat. I can't really light them. My cat is never anywhere around me. He's not interested in me. I can light
Unless
a candle.
You're recording a podcast, and then he's straight up.
Right now, it's not that humid, so he is fully back porch life. When it's 95 and not that humid, he's bye. I have to go cook. So he's cooking on the back porch.
Yeah, no. So we could kick eggs on our deck right now. It is bad outside. It was hell.
Our forecast, we're getting the bottom end of that heat dome down here, and our forecast was 99 today, which I had to double check that. I was like, 99? That doesn't sound right at all. And down in Central Florida, it's like 93 because I'm so far north. I'm so far north that it's hot. But it didn't actually get that hot. It's only 93 now. So
No, it's like over 100 for real feel, and then the humidity is pretty high. So like it's when you go out to walk your dog at 7 in the morning and your glasses fog up, you know it's gonna suck.
it's 105 degrees in Manhattan.
I know.
105.
And that's why I'm in my basement right now, hiding.
105.
All of our blinds and curtains are drawn. Our AC is going as hard as it can. We're keeping the dogs inside unless they need a quick wee. Like we are. I rescheduled all my clients for today because it is dangerous hot outside.
This was not forecast to be 105.
We're under what's called a heat dome right now. So
I know, but when it goes that 10 degrees above the forecast, that's quite disturbing. Like I'm looking at official data, not like somebody's backyard.
Well, you know what happens in New York City. So for anybody who knows, summer New York City already smells like urine and garbage. And
Yes, it does.
And then now what we're having is the tar on the sidewalks and everything is now melted and sticking to your shoes. Like everything's sticky.
I once
Don't
lost
go
a
in the
flip-flop.
subways, you'll die.
I lost a flip-flop in Brooklyn once crossing Fifth Avenue in Brooklyn. I was like, oh, my shoe is back there. Oh my God.
But you also can't touch the asphalt, and your dogs can't touch the asphalt. They need to wear little paw pads because of all the concrete. So, like, it is. I mean, I live near the ocean. Okay, my daughters, they have chosen wisely. All of their friends own pools. Okay,
Yes.
so they are just hopping from one pool to the other throughout the week. However,
That's good.
yeah, I'm not invited. It's
Yeah.
bullshit.
I saw a post on Threads today. It was like, how do you ask adult friends if they have pools? Do you say just like, so what do you do for fun? Do you ever submerge yourself?
Well, that's the benefit. So my friend Leah, who she listens to this also. So hey, Leah, shout out.
Hi, Leah.
She's the one who thinks I'm not chaotic, and I love her dearly for that. Because she feeds the delusion in my life. She has a small pool, and I fully believe that we are close enough that I could just go in it. And I'll just send her a text and be like, hopping in your pool. And like, she wouldn't give two shits about it.
Why don't you test that? I believe you.
But then
and I think it would be nice.
Then I have to go
That's the other
outside.
thing. People are like, what do you, like, how are we surviving the 90s, everybody? It's like, but the same way you survived the 30s, you stay in your house,
right?
Do your work, put your head down and do your work.
Isn't my grandmother's like old home that doesn't have wiring for AC?
Mm-hmm.
You know, or in Vermont where like they don't usually have a heat wave, so they don't have air conditioning, right? We're in the suburbs that we have air conditioning. So like I've turned off all the lights, I've turned on all the fans, we're doing the things.
I do even here. I close my blinds.
Yeah.
If it's in the 90s, I close my front blinds when the sun starts to come in, because I can hear the air conditioner struggle, and we're mostly under shade.
Oh, sure.
But I will say, this is gonna be Natalie's weather tip of the day. Everybody, it's time to save up a little money in shop sales and have a portable AC in your closet. Like, it's just time. Like, portable ACs will work on, any electrical system in any country, as long as you get the right one for your country.
And
you don't have to have a window unit. You just has a little pipe that goes outside.
Right.
You can cool one room so that you don't wish you were dead.
And you can even make your own by taking like a bag of ice from 7-Eleven, putting it in a bucket and putting it in front of a fan or air conditioner. You can hype it up a little bit.
I've heard that.
Yeah, it works. It works.
I think that's the blackout approach.
Listen,
like a battery powered fan.
This is brownout and blackout material because the way we're not built to withstand this for long term. It'll go on the grid, right? Like the grid will be used because there's going to be assholes out there putting their homes on like 60 degrees. It doesn't work like that. AC only drops at 20 degrees. Okay.
Yep.
At best, your house will be 80 degrees. Okay. At best.
Yes.
So take a cold shower and just deal with it.
Oh my God. The last summer that I lived in Brooklyn, I had a basement apartment, and it was cold until the day it wasn't.
Yeah.
And it was so hot. I was alternating between, I'm going to get on the N train because the N train's cold always, but you have to wait for it. And taking cold baths, just ice cold baths. I was submerging myself. It was just excruciating. And then we got a portable AC. That changed everything.
It does. And now it's not the time to buy an AC, unfortunately. It's usually like the best time to buy it is like shoulder seasons. But
you do what you got to do. It's like buying a generator right before hurricane. If you need it, you need it.
If you need it.
And we still use that portable AC after hurricanes. So, because it works on our generator.
Well, and I'll tell you right now, I'm not worried about a blackout because I convinced my ex 10 years after Sandy. It took me 10 years to convince him to go get a whole house generator. So even if the power goes out, we've got a natural gas generator. So the AC will still be working. So party at my house.
I saw somebody down the road from me get one put in last year. And I'm like, remembering.
No, I will tell you.
We have a generator that does the basics. And the portable AC does one room so you can sleep. So
you can. I think, as we know, I'm not a low maintenance creature.
No.
By any means. And so I used to think I was. And then I was like, oh, yeah, no, that's wrong.
Maybe you just developed more needs as you grew stronger and greater.
And I just know what I like. I mean, I'm the goddess of chaos. I deserve to have the best of everything. And one of those things is, so I'm looking at this house. I have actually a client. I didn't tell you the details. We won't go into detail. I don't want to jinx it. Okay. But I have a client who is looking to move out of her home in the neighborhood that I am looking in, has not yet put her house on the market, but sent me the listing from when she bought it, and it's perfect. Perfectly perfect. And
is it like a sweet little house?
It's a bungalow.
I love a bungalow.
So it is in an old fishing village, right? So it's like in the northernmost part of the Bay Shore. So it's near my office. It's an area that's up and coming. Like the developers have just found it, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's a cute little small town vibe. Like everybody knows everybody. And she has a home in a bigger town that she's moving back into now that her renters have left because she's got now her daughter and grandson, all that stuff. So she's leaving her little 3-bedroom with bonus room bungalow. It's like a renovated cape. And it's in this perfect little area. She is a single mom. She's been living there for 3 years. Like perfectly safe area. But it's got like a side yard with grass and then a side yard with like patio and all that stuff. And I was like, how fun would it be to make a little reading garden? And there's actually a 2-car garage that is separate from the house. And I thought, wouldn't that be great to put a little podcast studio / warehouse type in?
Yeah.
So wish me luck, guys, because she's going to give me a tour when she gets back from the next dog show. And she promised to do it before she put the house on the market because we might talk about private sale.
Ooh, all right. Everybody, manifesting.
I need that because here's the trick. So my divorce, the settlement, I've signed it. Jay's about to sign it. It's going to the judge, and the judge needs a couple weeks. So we're like, we are there, okay? And I can't come off my mortgage until the divorce decree is signed. So I can't purchase this home. So I'm trying to convince her that I'm going to rent it for the next 3 months until I can come off the mortgage and then purchase it at the asking price she wants now.
My family did that, actually, when I was a kid, with a house we had in Florida. They rented it until they were ready to buy it.
Yeah. I'll pay
for our next door neighbors.
I'll pay for her utilities, all that fun stuff. And I have a friend who's a landlord. She rents properties. And I told her, the different things I was thinking of giving as incentives. And she was like, I would totally go for those things. And then she's like, if you want to one-up it, do this. If you want to one-up that, do that. So all I'm saying is the money should be in my bank in the next 30 days. The divorce should be finalized within 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
And I say should because, how the world works. But all the hurdles have been jumped already. Okay. We are at the finish line. And I'm so excited because before the end of summer, I might actually be having a new house.
Yay! That's the dream. It's been such a marathon, and you fully deserve some good luck. Something great to happen.
And it's so cute. It's a little yellow house, too. So,
ooh. Yeah.
So for anybody who's out there, I looked at it, and I showed a friend of mine, and she goes, oh, my God, it's perfect. And I was like, I know.
Oh.
And I talked to the kids about it, and I showed it to Jason. Everybody's on board. So I just got to get the seller on board.
Yeah.
And keep her from posting it online.
Well, you'd be like, I have to do a deal on these on this body work. Otherwise, you might fall off my schedule.
Well, I was thinking more like keeping it like real estate lawyer only, so that way we save $30,000 in realtor fees.
Oh, for sure.
That kind of thing. So, because, I did a private sale for Vermont,
Yeah.
because that's actually how I sold my Vermont house. I don't know if we talked about that, but clients of mine were like, don't put it on the market, we'll buy it. And then, 3-4 months later, it was in their hands and they're loving it. They've renovated it already. Like, it's amazing. So, let's pray for round 2.
Just full circle, just keep everything the same. Keep it chill. Yeah. Keep it private, keep it chill.
Like, it's who you know, right? But yeah, so it'll be nice. But it'll be small, but I'm excited for it.
That'll be good. Because what are you going to do? You're going to keep up a big house with everything else you have going on?
God, no. I mean, listen, as it is already, summer, we're heading into the time of year where clients disappear because everyone hibernates over summer. They go to the horse shows, or everyone's moved like race barns, right? All the horses are racing. And so like they're out doing their thing, and you get a lot of people who are home with their kids or maybe not making as much money, which means that I'm not making that much money. Right. So yeah, I need some good things to happen because I'm a single lady.
We're working on it. We're all working on it. All the energy.
But that leads me to believe in like, hustles, like side hustles, right?
Absolutely.
So like I have my full-time job and I get to work with horses, which is awesome. But sometimes, I spend so much time with horses that I'm like, I don't need to go to the barn for my horses because I've got my fix for the day, right? So like my own horses kind of go by the wayside. So there is a little con to that sometimes where I'm like, I've been at the barn all day. Like the last thing I want to do is go to another barn and to ride.
That's really funny because obviously my original side hustle was writing books about horses. But because that is not exactly hands-on, sometimes I will be working on something and I'll be writing like a riding scene or, just a barn scene or something. And I'll just go, I want to go outside right now and ride my horse. Like I am fired up. I swear I was riding more this spring because of the book that I was writing. I truly believe that.
I think you do actually too, like for you specifically. I think you get a lot of your ideas when you're in the saddle.
I do. I really do. And I'm in a weird position right now because when we came back from the California show that we both went to, I did that thing where it's like an overnight flight and I sat on my tailbone all night and I got all inflamed around my sciatic nerve and my lower back seized up and the whole thing. So I have not ridden in several weeks.
Uh-oh.
And I'm not going to because I am going to have oral surgery in July. So I'm not going to be riding then either because that would be really bouncy and painful. So I am sort of involuntarily taking the summer off and just riding. But I think I almost did it to myself because I was like feeling like I should go to these shows that I wanted to go to. But then I was like, oh, do I really want to do that in the summer? And so I was being wishy-washy about riding and I got myself kicked out of the saddle for the summer. How about that?
There's nothing, and I realize that I've been on like a year-long hiatus because of the divorce. There's nothing wrong with taking some time out of the saddle. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Your horses are cared for. My horses are cared for.
Yeah.
Sometimes you go through a little burnout and you need to miss it a little bit, right?
Yeah. I think I was just like, I had other things I needed to do. And it was sort of like the time was pinching at me. And instead of just making a decision, I had to make the universe make the decision for me.
Sure. Well, there's nothing wrong with trusting the universe sometimes.
Yeah, I should have just made the decision though, and then I wouldn't like have a sore back as well. Because the horses are fine. Ben's a little bit like, what are we doing? So I go out and give him a bath.
Well, so I didn't want to suggest this via text, but are you sure it was the plane ride and not my Jeep driving skills on the dirt roads?
That was terrifying. No, there's actually precedence for the tailbone situation, which is if I hadn't switched my seat so that I could go back a day earlier, I probably wouldn't have done that to myself, but I did, and I did. So I'm now I'm back in giant pillow land. And I have to get on a flight Thursday and Friday for an overnight trip. and the giant pillows coming back out to support my butt.
You, I love a good lumbar support. Like I always take the pillow that they give you or a sweatshirt and I roll it and I put it behind my lumbar because I get restless leg syndrome on the flights because you've met me. I can't sit still.
You have restless everything syndrome.
Hello, I can't sit still for that long. Even if it's like 2-3 hours, like I get restless. I have to change my position, and I do also I get tight in the hips.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's definitely an issue.
I get it. But, I'm sorry. I hope you're feeling better.
Oh, it is what it is. But like, it's one of those funny, like, things we were talking about, like side hustles. They have like their own, toll attached to them. Like they can take a lot of time out. Like maybe you need to work on something all summer and you can't really ride all summer, but then you've got money in your account at the end of the summer where you can go, oh, now I can spend some time riding and showing and things like that. Like that was how I started riding again, right? Like I wasn't riding at all. I didn't have any money to ride. And so I started doing a little bit of extra work and sort of stashing that away so I could do a little riding. And it just slowly like added up over the years. I still have a side hustle, actually. I have one I never quit.
I think everybody needs a side hustle.
Yeah. I do Facebook ads for a tack shop. And I just figured out a new way to do them over the weekend that I was like, oh, that was interesting. That was intellectually stimulating, and I made a small amount of money for doing it. So, and I like being connected to this tack shop.
I think that's great. Like for now, the books are kind of my side hustle because they don't make a full-time salary, not like the bodywork stuff does, and so eventually I'd love to see that, especially as my body gets older. I would like to see that switch a little bit, right? And where the books be my bigger commitment, and then the body work is more like something I do for fun, like on the side. You know what I mean?
I like that switch.
Yeah, I think that's like a I take some time to build that kind of brand and build my book backlist, and then slowly kind of rotate that. So like I maybe teach for the body work. Like I'd love to teach. I'd love to mentor, and I have some ideas on that. And so but. I mean, with this divorce, for a while it was like, damn, do they make like an OnlyFans account that like you don't have to do anything sexual? Like, Jesus Christ, like, just to pay for the horses.
I think people were doing some people were almost treating it like Patreon for a while.
Were they really?
Yeah, because you can't actually put anything on OnlyFans.
Oh my God.
It's just a membership site.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know anything about that because I've never actually been on it. But, I was thinking, like, what else could I do for a side hustle? Because my board went up and, my daughter's going to these shows and it's like my costs are skyrocketing. And I feel like I'm working so much that I don't have time, or I'm so burned out that I don't have the energy to go to the barn and, like, exercise my horses, right?
Yeah.
So we did a thing. We polled the Clubhouse, as we love to do.
Clubhouse poll.
So we polled them about their like main jobs and their like side hustles, right? And I kind of wanted this to be a surprise. I didn't read any of them yet.
I didn't either. I'm gonna open it up right now and look.
We're so typey.
I just have a lot of stuff going on and we text each other and then I'm like, I definitely remember we had a conversation 6 years ago.
Right. Well, we got,
and also I like never open Facebook.
We got, yeah.
Everybody either wants one or has one when it comes to side hustle, right? And I'm in full support because I, like you, came from, I turned my side hustle into my full-time and then I moved my full-time work became like, oh yeah, I still do some Facebook ads for somebody because I used to be a full-time social media manager. Right. And then I was like, oh God, I don't want to do this anymore. And now I have a social media manager. It works much better that way.
It does. It really does. Shout out to Taylor for saving our lives.
It saved our lives. And just the very concept of it saved our lives. And that's what I think there's like, it's like seasons. Like you save up for a while and then you take some time and you enjoy that money and then you save up for a while and it just sort of like snowballs until it's like, oh, now I can show all winter or all summer or wherever you live, whatever you want to do. Like, because people are like, how do people go to Florida? Or, how do people go to a hits show in the summertime? Or how do people afford to have a horse, period? It's definitely like, it's one of three things, right? It's like family money, rich husband, or side hustles. Those are the three options.
Yeah.
So like, and there's so many horsey side hustles. So I'm actually very curious to see.
I think it's good. And I even have one client who she's got 2 side hustles. And so she is like almost burnt out, but then she's able to travel and do all the things that she wants to do. And so, let's maybe go through some of these ideas. Do you want to start?
All right, let's take a look. Oh, mine's on. Let's see. Yeah,
all
it's
right,
on
I could start.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Okay.
Oh, the first one that I see on here is like literally one of the best ones, teaching riding lessons to kids. That's awesome.
Yeah. So she works a corporate job during the day, and then on the side she teaches lessons.
I did that with when I was working off Ben, like leasing Ben. I taught one of the girls at the barn that my friend was kind of just sick of her. Like my friend taught, that was her whole thing. Like she taught riding lessons and she was very tired. And this one girl, she was just like not getting through to her. And she's like, will you take her on? And I said, sure, I'll take her on. So I go out and teach her. And this girl could not be taught.
Really?
Could not learn. No, she couldn't be taught. She couldn't focus. I could not teach this child to post off of a lunge line. Like, she just never got it. I'm like, how do you never get posting ever? Because I've taught professionally before. It's not like I didn't know. She just could not be taught. Her mom took her somewhere else, and where they would just let her gallop around in a Western saddle. So, all right, wear a helmet. But I did teach her, and it did save me money on Ben's board. So
well, and that's when the twins first started riding, I couldn't afford to pay for both kids' lessons and like my own lessons, right?
Yeah.
Because like I had a budget that I was given, and so I decided. So I asked the barn owner and my trainer. I said, "Do you guys mind if I teach them until they get to like a certain level?" And so that's what I did. I taught them on the pony, and they let me teach them myself on my own horse. And then we moved them up, and now my kid's going to hit. So I'm going to say I can't take all the credit, or really any of the credit, but, I had a hand in it.
Yeah. Yeah, you've added some salt to that pot.
Exactly. Sprinkle of magic in there.
The trainer made the gumbo, but you threw in a bay leaf.
All I could say is I was not responsible for her first fall. So
I was not responsible for my sister's fall when I was teaching her to ride because she didn't listen to me.
Well, yeah. That's what happens.
Boy, did she fall spectacular.
Yeah, we say half halt. That doesn't mean clutch the pony and start screaming. So what a unicorn that is. So Sarah says she's a Mary Kay girl and an author, and then she's been a Mary Kay girl for 18 years because it's flexible and horse people need good skincare.
No comment on skincare. I do use moisturizer. Thank you.
Well, yeah, and listen, it's like a lot of people use Mary Kay as a side hustle. It sounds like she uses that as like her main job.
I guess, yeah. I don't know a lot about it, but whatever works.
I only know that I'm not a good salesperson.
I was gonna say, if you like selling stuff and you have a lot of people you'll sell to, then great.
Which is why my book sales are not always very, very big online. In person, they're better, but
yeah,
that. We know the next one too.
Yeah, Lori Bergley. She, Horse Magazine. She helped me get a side hustle once with Horse and Style magazine.
Oh, nice. I love that publication.
Yeah, I wrote a lot of features for them for a while. Like, after because I turned my main job, right? Like I was working full time like corporate job. And then I managed to get a part-time job with Disney, like still a professional, but I was part-time. So all of a sudden, working professionally was my side hustle. And then whenever the pandemic rolled around, then I had to like write more. She helped me. She gave me an introduction at Horse and Style. And so I was writing features for them for a while.
That's awesome.
And I had a really good time doing that. So she does that. She also writes equestrian romances.
She does. Mm-hmm. She does. I have her books on my shelf.
Yeah, I do too.
And I used to actually work on her horses too. Like when I was I would.
That's
I had
funny.
set it up like once a month. I would go down to Maryland, and I had a couple of barns down there, and so I'd work on her horses. Yeah.
And she copy edits, and those are all side hustles because she has a full-time job.
Absolutely.
Which I think involves a lot of travel. So she hustles.
Yes. So
she's not just a side hustle, she's a hustler.
Run Be All Inclusive Travel. So if you ever want to do like adults only inclusive travel, Be All Inclusive. That's Lori's.
Yeah, and they go to all the places. They know all of those
do
resorts.
A lot in like Mexico, I think, and like all that down there. And so our next one is our girl Amy, who I don't know if you guys know this. She's like my ADHD twin.
Oh, fun.
She was on the HRN cruise with us last year.
Yeah.
She does not have a horsey job. She has a normal 9 to 5, but her side hustle is horses to pay for her horse, which I think is a pretty common thing. And then she judges as well as stewards and fills in by teaching lessons and doing barn chores. So she's got a couple of horsey hustles.
The judging is really interesting. I don't think I've seen that as a side hustle yet. I like that.
No, but I love the idea of getting paid to judge other people.
Right? Oh my gosh.
That's a dream.
Oh, I wonder if you do it, like if you can have a little assistant.
Free.
So you can just say catty things to your assistant, but as you're like, yeah, that sounds really fun.
No.
Very interesting.
No, that's pretty cool, Amy.
We should hit up Amy for more info on like how to judge. I love that idea.
And I'm kidding about the judgment,
I'm not.
mostly. But
she's not kidding.
I keep it quiet.
Yeah.
Or I side eye my friend
If you ever
Natalie.
see Heather and I sitting in a judge's stand, just be aware of what's happening.
Walk away.
We do it out of love, all right? We love judging.
And we also know that we probably wouldn't ride at your level too, so just whatever.
Let me just say too, if I could just have a side hustle doing barn chores somewhere, I would do it.
It's very meditative.
It's very meditative. I need some stalls to clean and an aisle to sweep and maybe some gossip to listen in on. Mm-hmm. I would love that. Yeah. So if you can get that job, get that job.
Yeah, but it has to pay. It shouldn't be
or barter.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I do barter with my barn I exchange body work for like lessons and stuff like that. So it does help because then my daughter gets to ride and she gets to show at the level that she wants to show.
Right. Yeah. Right. That works out.
Well, our other friend Amy, after that, who I know for years, she just says, I would love a side hustle. So maybe this one gives her some ideas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the thread.
She's a teacher.
That's wearisome work. Like you're always working. My sister's a teacher, and that's a lot of work. Here's a very unhorsey one. I'm a commercial carpenter for my main job, and I pick up side work doing small remodels or drywall finishing. I did drywall when we redid one of the rooms at our house, and I thought it was fun. I liked it. So maybe I should be a drywaller, like part-time.
I'm just wondering where Hartley is and if they want to come help me when I move into my new house.
I'm thinking definitely. I'm thinking they probably would. And oh, look at that. There's this just Aradia's just like, oh, by the way, you could make money building jumps. Oh, that is a great idea. Even if you just painted garden poles, you could sell those for $20.
Absolutely.
And they're $5 at Lowe's. So I would buy painted ones because I wish mine were painted, and when am I going to have time to paint jump poles?
Yeah, well, and Harley jumped on it. It's like, oh, you know what? I was thinking about doing standards. Like, maybe I should look into it. Right. So, like, I love this. Like, everybody's talking in the background, kind of helping each other, hyping each other up. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's find some work.
Yeah, I know. In this economy, we all need to pay for our horses. Okay, guys.
Yeah. Man, we're just bringing people together.
I know. That's just community. That's what we want. Well, maybe not
Megan?
you because you're introverted. But
no, I want community. I want it to happen around me, just not necessarily with me.
Well, maybe online is good because then you don't have to talk to people directly.
Online is great for me.
You just get to make like little sassy comments.
I'm bad at having in real life friends. I love you guys. But you know me in person. I'm like,
well, I am going to speak up for Natalie.
I'm looking over your shoulder. Yeah. Like I just go full on mental shutdown.
So there's times when Natalie and I are sitting there like at California, for example, where our tables were next to each other, and I'll just catch her staring into space as I'm like chatting. And I'm like, oh, wait, she's disassociating. Okay, I'm going to pause. She is not interested. And then I just keep, I just move on because
sometimes we just want different things from a conversation.
And that's totally fine. But like, I also can read a room. So I'm okay. Like in every relationship, you need a yapper and someone who just wants to secretly tell them to shut up.
That's true. No, that is true. That's 100% true. Weirdly, with my husband, I think I'm the yapper. So
yeah, no, I think you're right because Corey's actually quieter than you. But
it's extremely quiet.
It works, and that's okay. You can't have two yappers.
Sometimes when he's been drinking, he really starts talking, and I'm not there yet. Like he'll be like, a couple drinks ahead of me, and I'm like, dude, you were talking too much.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, like you and I are good on the podcast because it's like an hour of our time, and then we take like a week break, right? Like, if we did this as our full-time job every day, I don't think that you and I would be able to sustain this. I would. I don't think you would.
I would have nothing to say.
No.
Like, I made notes about my week just in case. Like, I couldn't think of anything to say.
I come in, I'm like, oh, I'll just turn on the computer and see what happens.
That's what I usually do, but then I end up being really quiet while you're just talking. I'm like, oh, I have absolutely. We've had a few episodes where like I'm talked out 10 minutes in. Like that's not good.
There have been some episodes where I'm like, am I just dominating this conversation, or am I filling the gaps?
Both are true. And I try. This is cold brew in my old Mare Goods mug that says "badass" on it. So cold brew. Since I learned that caffeine keeps my brain ticking over, not just awake but ticking over. I use that for my, I use that whenever I'm working, basically. I set it up. I set up my day. When can I have caffeine? That's when I'll work. Okay. Yeah.
So go ahead and read the next one.
Was it Megan's? Were we talking about Megan's body clipping?
That's
body clipping is a great one because people are bad at it. Clipper maintenance sucks. And you can charge a lot of money.
And it's seasonal, so you don't have to do it all the time and get like bored.
Yeah. Exactly. So that affects that whole like, oh, I got burned out or I don't have time to do anything or whatever. If you just set a period of months in your life where you're going to do a shit ton of body clipping, that's a really effective way to make, well, really $100 an hour if you know what you're doing.
And I'm going to even add, you could do body clipping like in the spring, and then you could do braiding in the winter and summer for shows.
You could. Yeah. If you don't mind getting up early, you can do braiding.
Yeah. Or staying up late. Either one.
Yeah, either one. Yeah. And I do think it would be chill. I don't know how to braid, but I could learn if I needed to. Because I think like hanging out at WEC at like midnight when nobody's there, just like listening to a podcast would be super chill. Just be like,
that might actually be like a great job for you. Because then you don't have to talk to anybody but like a random groom who's just walking through doing like night check.
Kind of amazing. When I move down closer to WEC, maybe if I like need a side hustle, I'll learn how to do plaits, as my trainer says.
There you go. That's perfect.
I love it. Oh, look at that. We're solving future problems.
I love this for us. Well, Anne says that this is a lot. Okay. Chemistry, manufacturing, controls, compliance specialist for a pharmaceutical company. I don't really know what that means, but it sounds complicated.
Of compliance.
Yeah,
There's
it sounds
many
really
compliances
complicated.
there.
So she tried a horsey job after college and burned out and lost the love for the sport for a while. Real. I mean, honestly, I think that is one of the places where, like, if you work with horses day in and day out, you start to, there's a saying, right?
I left.
Right. There's a saying about, like, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. But you flip it around, if you do what you love so much, sometimes, like, never turn a passion into a job, right? Like, some people think that way, and I can see it because I love what I do so much, but there's some days that I'm just like, ugh.
Well, with horses, it's exceptionally bad because of the way a lot of people will treat you as an employer. We're not talking a 9 to 5 here, right? We're usually talking like a 7 to 8 and 6 days on, all weathers, people mistreating you. So, it's a great way to get burned out real quick.
Yeah, my favorite is, how do you no-show at your own barn? And then you get offended when I tell you that there's a cancellation fee because you just no-showed me. And I'm like, I got like a wait list, and then like, it's dealing with the people can burn you out. It's not the horses. It's not the horses that'll do it. It's the people associated with it. Just FYI. But so now Anne's back in the horse world, like after a hiatus, which bless her, because I did the same thing. I totally relate. And she listens and she shows. And yeah, I think that's awesome.
That's always the rewriting story. We see it. Yeah. I think we see rewriting more than ever now, and I love it. Let's bring it back. I'm a rewriter. You're a rewriter.
Yeah.
We're all rewriters.
Famously
I love it.
rewriter.
And actually, I wrote that in, I had to do a questionnaire for my publisher's like marketing team because some of them don't really know me and they don't know my readership. And so I'm trying to, give them a balance of like who my readership is. And I said, well, there's 3 main groups. And I don't remember exactly what I said. It was like, teens that have big dreams. And then your older readers who are asked, just sort of like reading, their old dreams kind of thing. Like that's what we do. Right. And then there's rewriters. Well, I was talking, I have a lot of like, I get emails from
get a lot of
I'm going to say senior people. It's a later demographic, a twilight, if you will. And
I get a lot of that as timid riders.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But that important group I mentioned to them, and these are people who also have just started buying books again after their kids have gotten out of the house and they have time again. It's the rewriters. This is a hugely important group of people that you don't want to leave out of any discussion, because we're back, baby, but also very uncertain about what the horse world looks like since we were teens, since we left. And it was weird for me.
That's so different.
Yeah.
It was so, and that's a whole episode. But yeah, I mean, and that is, but there's
the Twilight Zone for Gen X riders.
Yeah, but and then again, that's addressing that burnout, because a lot of people left because they were burned out, or they went to college to focus on something else, like in a career, that took them away from horses. Or they didn't think they could work with horses and make any money, which, facts a lot of the time. Sure. And so they're coming back. So it's really cool to see a lot of our people have like a job, but their side hustle is horses. Which I think is actually kind of perfect.
I like it that way. It puts you in the right mindset, and it sets you up to make a community. I mean, if you look at when we go to an expo and how many people we know at these expos, readers, vendors, artists, writers, small business owners, like we are in this really cool community because our side hustle was Horsey. And it made our lives horsier. It enriched it in so many ways, professional and personal, both ways. Like, I just love it so much. I love our group. And that's just because we kept it horsey. So do that, guys.
And I will say, too, like, I think in some ways horses saved my life from, like, postpartum depression, because I'd moved to an area and got married, had kids. I had postpartum depression, but I was so alone. I didn't have any friends in the area. I didn't know anybody. I didn't have the job I was working at was, back in Hoboken. I was doing that remotely. Like, I had no connections, and getting back into horses really gave me an anchor, and it gave me something. And for a while, it turned into my whole personality. I'm not going to say it's not currently, but,
you could turn it on and turn it off now.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so it's just been so lovely meeting all these other people who have similar journeys and can relate. And then I don't feel so alone anymore, is basically what I'm saying. And I am so grateful to everybody for that.
We're just better as a flock.
Agreed. Or herd, dare I say.
Yeah. Okay. That is a much better metaphor.
Just editing you really quick.
Thanks.
Do you want to read
My brain
this
is
next one? And then we've got maybe a couple more, and then we'll get around to adulting with wins.
She's one, whenever people say, like, well, how do you have time to do this? You work for yourself, baby. Already says, I'm a full-time artist, which theoretically allows me to go to the barn whenever I want. But does she? No, because she's working. The reality is that I'm there only a few times a week during convention season because I'm too busy trying to restock between events. Womp womp. Sad face. She made a sad face. I do cover chores for the farm manager when she's out of town, so that's good. I've taught a few lessons, held horses for the farrier. That's one you don't think of very often. But it's all inconsistent. Totals maybe $50 a month. Hey, that's $50 you didn't have before you held those horses.
Go have a nice little meal. Go have get a little nosh, little glass of wine. Yeah. That's a win.
Put it towards a cute saddle pad. Do what you got to do.
But then there is, oh my God. Wait, I just read the next one. This is so not related. But our good friend Ashley Winch, who runs the Horse Radio Network, says, yay, Heather Wallace just here saying I'm raising a glass for you, sister, about my divorce is almost over soon. That's it.
I was like, what did Heather do here? Okay, divorce, yeah.
Celebrating me as I should be. So, but thank you, Ashley. I do appreciate it. We, as if I'm like the royal we. I appreciate you too. And don't think I've forgotten about our trip that we're going to plan. So.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Sorry. Listen, if you can't escape your reality, just get on a plane and go somewhere temporarily.
Oh, no, that's very true.
Yeah.
That's why I mentally put myself on a cruise ship every 10 minutes these days.
Yep. I'm going to Texas this weekend to finish my tattoo. And then 2 weeks later, I'm going to Scotland for my divorce trip. So
I'm going to Disney tomorrow in St. Paul on Thursday.
You only do Disney now. That's like your second.
I do other stuff, but I would rather just do Disney. of like we're going to Disney, but we're staying overnight, and then because we're flying out of Orlando the next morning for like a quick overnight trip. But I'd rather just stay at Disney.
I keep
I don't
saying,
really.
like,
I
Disney,
only need
and that's because
escape.
of you.
I only need escape right now. I don't need anything taxing at all. I just
Right.
need to be left alone by the world, and that's how I manage it. So, like, I
So
don't want to discover anything new. I don't want to explore it. I just want to be left alone.
I'm doing like the complete opposite on my Scotland trip.
I
This is like my
know.
rebirth. It's like I've set up like a whole photo shoot. It's like a goddess photo shoot. So I'm just gonna be running around parks in a ball gown. And I'm going to be like, going to see Loch Ness and the Kelpies and going to the breweries and dancing in the Sealies and whatever, however you pronounce it. And so, we're flipping. We have such different personalities. It's
I
amazing
know.
we get along so well.
I'm just, I'm recovering. I'm recovering from my year of edits and
Yeah.
the future edits that are coming my way.
Well, and I'm coming
going
out of hermit mode. So we're
Yeah.
going the opposite. And you're going into
I'm
hermit mode.
I'm deep in hermit mode.
Yeah,
I'm
you are.
there. I'm there. I'm like, I've like one of the gopher tortoises out my yard. I've just gone in my burrow. Don't knock. I'm burrowing, baby.
Are you in your troll in your troll?
I'm in my troll era.
Yeah, you're trolling right now.
Give me money and leave me alone.
Meanwhile, I'm like running around like I'm the main character of my own rom-com, just being like, I'm just gonna go here for dinner. I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna go. Sure, I'll upgrade to first class for miles. Let's do
I think
that.
that might be me next year. So just look out. You might have your head down and be working next year.
Yeah. Well, this year I did take off I'm not writing any books right now.
Mm-hmm.
I've got one that I'm working on, but I am taking some time to just focus on me. So this is the year of Heather.
The year of Heather. To
And next
everything
year
there
will
is a season.
Right. And next year will be Natalie's year. All right. Don't hurt yourself by moving.
I'm stretching.
Making sex sound.
I'm stretching away from the mic and back to
All
the
right.
mic.
So we're kind of this. Do you want to read one or two more?
Yeah, let's run through the side hustles.
All right.
And we'll see which ones are horsey or not. Okay, so we've got riding lessons and camps, like beginner riding lessons. Those are good because anybody could teach those. Just stay on.
We have a horse-drawn carriage business, and they do like weddings and things like that, which is amazing.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, working at a private barn. I have done that. Working at a private barn can be a little lonely, but it can pay really well. So that's a good idea. A full-time riding instructor, no side hustles, just teaching.
Barn owner, that's a tough one.
That's a full life. That's
a full life.
It says stay-at-home mom, but Anna, you're not at home.
That's two very, very busy full-time jobs.
We know yeah.
A business consulting company. Teach lessons and a regular day job. That's
okay.
three.
That's
okay,
good.
Sarah. Getting it. Get your bag, girl.
Mm-hmm. Christy is a photographer. That's good. That's a flexible job.
That's a good one too. And then she goes to local shows as well. And then Gwen pet sits, which is
my God.
And she knows she's an accountant full time.
Oh, that's really good. Pet sitting is a good one. Like my pet sitter is a goddess. I will do anything for her.
You get like a
I
full
pay her
farm sit.
Yeah, I pay her a lot of money and I love her and I would do anything for her.
We got with civil engineer.
I got a degree to afford them. So that's what my mom wanted me to do. That is the sensible, wise path, Emery. Most of us are not capable of being civil engineers as much as we'd like to. It sounds amazing. I would love to build some bridges and take some soil classes, but I can't.
Yeah. Well, and
Good for you, girl.
Lucy doesn't really mention. She says she works from home, so I'm just going to tell you she's like a professor. She's like a very big professor. I forget what she teaches, but like
knows that.
Yeah, no, she's a very smart cookie. And so she also used to do. I don't know if she still does it, but she used to do like the Backwoods Horsemen of America.
Right.
Yeah. So she used to do like trail cutting and stuff for them. Like this girl. I would
she
trust her on a trail.
I could tell she has a lot of teaching because she is always happy to speak about trails, the mules, like her lifestyle. Like, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's got that teacher mentality.
She's an OG. I love her. And then let's see, manufacturing for
overtime. Overtime is a great side hustle. I've done that.
Another civil engineer.
Okay.
Wow.
The money's in civil engineering.
Oh, wait. She said, Nicole says she briefly did a 6-month stint at Dolly Parton's Stampede riding and performing. That is awesome.
I wanted to go there so bad when it was in Orlando, and then it closed. And I was super sad. We actually, the princess that I have, the former princess in Showbarn Blues, was based on a rider from Arabian Nights, which was a dinner show in Orlando as well, that worked for us at Grand Cypress Equestrian Center. They do a lot of really crazy stuff. And congratulations, Nicole, on surviving that. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Yeah. We've got
All
a
right,
lot of good ones. Working in an equine insurance. More riding lessons. Very, very good.
No horsey side hustle from Kim. But she wants ideas for a horsey job she could look into after she retires. Not necessarily for the money, but something so she could do like in exchange for the expenses. So hopefully she gets some ideas from this.
Yeah. Kim, there's so much on here.
Oh, yeah. We could chat about that all day. And Jenny has a chemistry degree that she gave up. And she now works as maybe not now, but she worked as a path therapy instructor. And then she's working.
That sounds like a really great one for a lot of people might want to get into, because it really lets you give back. And it is something you have to get certified to do. So it's like a professional sort of.
And so with path certification, I've heard ups and downs. I do work with a path certified therapy riding barn. They are very stringent in some of the things that they can and can't do, but there are other, if you don't want to do path, there are other programs as well. So, just look into what would be good. But my daughter started riding. My oldest was with cerebral palsy. That's how she got into horses, and it was amazing for her.
And, and you can get to know the people and decide if it's something you're interested in, and meet people who can offer you side hustles by volunteering at a therapeutic riding facility. Because never forget, I got my job in the Parks Department in New York by volunteering with Gallop NYC. I was just sidewalking horses and leading horses, and they were like, oh, do you want to go groom? And it just turned into this whole thing that ate my life up. So it can happen. Volunteering is definitely a way to meet horsey people that might have crazy opportunities for you.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And Jennifer says that she works part-time as an EMT, and then she also works a couple evenings a week to do feeding and stuff like that at the barn.
Perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
That's actually, I know another person who does EMT work in order to ride and stuff like that.
That's interesting.
And then we have a medical speech pathologist at home, and then her side hustle is sewing custom dressage sock ties.
Oh, fun.
I love that a lot of the side hustles are horsey. I'm seeing a real distinct pattern here. All right, we got 2 more. Jillian and Casey. So let's see.
Jillian, she's one of the ones with the sexy smart full-time job, so she doesn't need a side hustle. A bachelor's in biology and a robotic welder programmer. I don't know how those 3 words go together. I don't know what that means, but I'm excited for you. You sound brilliant. You sound smarter than me.
I'm very intimidated right now.
We have geniuses amongst us.
I know, and you guys listen to us. Are you insane?
We have semi-emotional intelligence, but it doesn't go a lot deeper than that.
Are we I always tell people
we're the dumb ones.
I always tell people, they're like, what kind of movies do you like? I'm like, I want stupid comedy. I want Megan McCarthy. I want Will Ferrell. I want something funny, because I don't want to take life too seriously. I think we're that for them. I think we're
we're the rom-com. I'm Meg Ryan, and you're my Tom Hanks.
Does that mean I'm tall?
Yeah, and you have a great laugh.
That's true.
And you make me feel safe.
That is the most important thing you could say to me.
So I let you
sitting here
drive me
petting
around.
my volleyball, Wilson here. Don't mind me.
I never saw that. That didn't look funny at all.
It's tragic. Not funny. Not funny. Do not recommend.
No, missed the point.
You ever see Anchorman? I Love Lamp.
Oh, yes. I was quoting that on Blue Sky last night.
I regularly will make quotes from movies that people don't get, and I'm like, you guys are really not funny.
Really?
Okay, and last but certainly not least, Casey, thank you for waiting. She has a full-time job as a county extension agent. I have no idea what that means. And then she does have flex hours during the weeks, and so she can, I love that. So I don't know what a county extension agent is.
I think it's the person that comes out and looks at ag stuff and tells you if your trees are poisonous, or if you need to add lime to your soil, things like that.
Cool.
I think. I hope I'm not too wrong. Casey, you could tell us.
Yeah, you can
if we're
totally
being
tell us.
way out there. So those are really interesting things because I had somebody come out from UF, does our county extensions in Florida, and he was like eating plants just to show that he could. I'm like, okay, I'm very proud of you. So maybe you do that, and that's super fun.
That is actually pretty cool. I have no idea. I'm learning a lot today.
I think flexible hours are always worth considering, even if it's a little bit of a pay cut, because it allows you to choose how you spend your day. And that might mean the difference between riding and not riding, or grooming and not grooming, things like that.
I mean, yes, in the perfect world, because that's why I started doing the body work, right? Because I make my own hours. Here's the rub. When you start getting a wait list and then you have to, like, but your kids are home for the summer and you're like, oh, I can't work a full day. And then, or you book so many hours that you don't actually plan a slot for the barn time.
But you're freelancing. She's got a job.
Correct.
So, like, you know.
Answer to no one but myself. I'm a terrible planner.
What I see sometimes is people saying, well, I've been offered this job that pays 30% less than what I would like to make, but it is remote or something to, you know, or it's flex hours. And it's like, okay, you just saved so much time by not driving to that job. You have to factor that into that 30%.
Absolutely.
And not just the money, but what it's going to allow you to add to your life. Like, you're going to be able to enrich your life by not commuting. So the pay cut can really manifest itself in other ways.
Well, and I'll say, as someone who spends a lot of money on gas tolls and car mechanics, it saves you in other ways too, having to do the commute, right? Like not having to do that. So because that can just rob you. That's $30,000 a year right there, right? Of maintenance and everything. So yeah, it's really interesting to see like all the side hustles. I love these. And I would be interested too, like if you guys are if we have any listeners out there that want to be part of the Clubhouse and want to get in on these episodes, like join it. It's free. We're just vibing over there.
We should probably make like a master post and pin it if people can post their side hustles that are like horsey in nature, or maybe even not horsey if somebody's got like some sweet like the jumps, or if they're accounting or something like that, they can just post them on there. Yeah. We can't vouch for them, or if they could do the thing. You have to do your own research.
Yeah, maybe we start a little Excel file or something like that, and people could just add to it.
Support our people.
So we went a little over, but we had a lot of feedback. So I wanted to make sure we got through it all, and everybody got their voices heard. So I guess it's time to talk about adulting wins real quick. What do you think? Are you ready?
I'm ready. You know what? Because this one actually is a professional win. Is I turned in my proof pages a week early, which means I am done with the creative on this book. It is created. Woo!
That's exciting.
Yeah, I finished the past pages. It wasn't that much. It was a pretty clean draft anyway. I found a couple typos. I read a line. So I read the whole book, start to finish, like magnified really, really big. And I was reading a line and it said something about a pretty mare. And I looked at it for a minute. And I wish I could remember the sentence because the story would make more sense in that context. But I was just like, pretty doesn't seem right. Pretty mare, pretty mare. Looking at it, I'm like, that's supposed to be, it wasn't pretty mare, it was pretty animal. And it was supposed to be prey animal because it was a commentary on like the way the horse was behaving. It was behaving that way because it was a prey animal. And I wrote because it was a pretty animal. And I was like,
good catch, actually.
That was it. It was literally like an autocorrect type of typo. So, and I even went back and looked at the Word document and it said pretty animal there too. And I was like, I don't think that's right. So I found that, and I found some time errors with some cross-country times because I'm not, I thought I know event organizers who read these books. And if I screwed up these cross-country times, they'd be like, oh, Natalie. And that'd be so embarrassing. I would die. So I had to go in and change a bunch of numbers around, which I hate doing. But other than that, it is a beautiful book that is going to be in like advanced copies are coming really soon. And I'm going to be hustling it really hard. So I hope everybody's really excited for marketing, Natalie.
Well, for me, I have a lot of wins that are like pending, right? That are coming through. So I will tell you my horsey win of the week. I got to go to the barn on the weekend because I didn't work at all last weekend. Ooh. I got to go to the barn and it was definitely hot and it was not riding weather. So I took my little grooming tote and I went out to the field and I did like a free grooming session at Liberty with my horses. And it was really funny because Ferris, I never realized. So Ferris is the one I usually do the Liberty stuff with. He was like freaking out and I couldn't figure out why. I forgot that I only did the grooming at Liberty with Delight when I first got him back from like the whole trauma thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that was how I built a connection with him. But Ferris and I had never done it. So it was like completely new to him. And so like
that was your TikTok, right? That video of him
Yes.
just like he just left.
I was like, nope.
It's so funny.
Yeah. And so I did, there's longer parts to that, right? So, which I'll be showing. But yeah, so it was on my TikTok. He was just like, it's shedding blade. Nope, not even. And he just peaced out.
He just marched away.
He absolutely did. But I believe in consent, right? And so I was like, oh, clearly. And so I put it away. And Delight was like, what are we doing? Let's go. And it took him a few minutes. And once he figured out what we were doing, because he's a smart little cookie. So we had a lot of fun. And then the final clip of the video, which she actually didn't see, the final clip of the video is I was walking away with the grooming tote and both horses just up and turned and followed me all the way to the gate. So we had a really great bonding moment and we spent a lot of time together because one thing I need to do before I think I get back on a horse is I really need to focus on being like so present with them and rebuilding my bond with them because I have not been present very much. You know, I've been giving them the bare minimum, honestly. And so I'm trying to like reintroduce and kind of share myself a little bit. So it was a lot of fun.
That's really great. That's what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out and free groom. That sounds really, really pleasant and nice.
Yeah, like Delight did not want me to pick his feet. And he absolutely said no, so I respected it. And then we brushed and we did manes and tails, and then Ferris didn't want to be shut out, but he allowed me to do his mane, and you know it was cute. And then they all got excited, and they're like, "What's next? What are we gonna do next?" So it's fun.
Love it.
Yeah, you could do with Manny too, or any horse that's not ridden. It's like a fun little box, and then be prepared for them knocking it over like 1,000 times.
Manny has to be in it. He's like a cat. He's like, my whole head has to be in this bag. I'm like, oh my God, stop.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's good because every now and then, like yesterday, I just grabbed him by the mane and hosed him off because it needed done. Because it was hot. It was like 95 degrees.
Sure.
And so Ben just stands there like, okay, you can hose me off. But Manny, I have to like hold on to while he pulls away with all of his might. So then I have to go out and do something nice for him too. So.
Sure. Well, you know, it's funny because I did actually wash both of the boys too for the first time at our new barn. And Ferris was not interested because they were like cutting down a tree nearby. But we got there. And then Delight, I was like, I'm going to catch a video because he's so funny. He will paw until he gets his face wet. Like he was like a former racehorse. He's kind of weird. Form cat grandbaby, if that means anything to anybody in a thoroughbred world. So he loves where Ferris is like, you touched me with that on my face and you die. Delight is like, do it now. Give me it on the face. Give me. And then he makes the stupidest faces. But my favorite, I got it on video once. I've been trying to replicate it ever since. He will hold the water in his mouth and then spit it back at you.
Okay, a groom taught him that for sure. That's really funny.
So funny. So I actually really enjoy because he's like, we're playing. Like this is what we're doing. We're playing in the water.
Yeah. So he used to have a groom he really liked, I'll bet. Yeah. That's really sweet.
I'm sure. So yes, I did get that on video, so I'll try to share that. But
all right, quality time.
Yeah. So
that's a win.
I'm pretty excited. I promise that I will try to be better about scheduling these episodes. Natalie has to help me too, though, because she goes dark and
I go dark.
She goes dark and never reaches out to me and prompts me. So I have to like chase her down and be like, "Do you want to record an episode?" She'd be like, "Sure." And I'm like, "You could have suggested it."
Nah, not me. I just assume you're busy.
Well, same, but
I mean, listeners, can you not just assume she's busy? I mean, you've been listening.
Yeah,
assume she's busy.
Listen, we owe
I'm at home.
them content. They're here to hang out with us, right?
I'm just saying.
See my face. Come on, this is like the highlight of your week.
Yeah, of course it is.
Thank you. Well, that's perfect. So, okay, we're gonna post this. It's going to be there. Thanks for joining the Clubhouse. And for those of you who like the Patreon, however the fuck you pronounce it.
Patronize us.
That's right. Our video so you can see all of the shenanigans will be up soon.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Yay.
Thank you for being a little weird with us, horse girls. If you like what you hear, make sure to subscribe to the podcast on your player of choice. Follow us on Instagram at Adulting with Horses Podcast, or even better, join our Adulting with Horses Clubhouse on Facebook, where you can become part of the show. Also, it's a great place to meet other horse crazy women. Thanks, and see you next time.